And thank you very much for joining us this morning. Hope you had a great weekend. I am Yori Folare, and our guest this morning is Honorable Ogena Emma Ego. He's a former member of, a two-time former member of the House of Representatives, 8th and 9th, and he's also a former ECOWAS Parliament member. A fine morning to you, Honorable Ego.
Thank you very much, Folari. I'm happy to be with you once more. Thank you.
Pleasure is all ours. Okay, then. Okay, this morning we'll talk about the Lagos-Calabar highway. It's a big project. A project such as, quite frankly, is the biggest. The idea is that it's going to be running across. It's going to be expected to run through 9 states. And it's going to have a railroad running in the middle of it. It definitely will improve greatly tourism. And ultimately, it's supposed to connect up as far afield as from Lagos as Sokoto. Of course, you also are aware that since the Minister of Works, David Umahi, has sort of unveiled the plans for it, work has started in earnest in Lagos. But there are those who are speaking against it on account of their losing out, and also on account of there being an original plan that didn't do as much collateral damage, so to speak, as the one that we're now operating. I guess the thing to do is, first of all, let me get your perspective, Honorable Ego, on 1, the road, and then 2, the talk that has surrounded it since its announcement and commencement of work from the Lagos end.
Folari, let me thank you for bringing me to talk about this project. This project, the Coastal Road, has been on for a long time. As somebody who has been in the politics of Lagos for a long time, before coming to the House of Rep, I was a councillor in Lagos, supervising councillor, and at the stage I was State Public Secretary of Federal government, which Sambaka Oteda headed. And so I consider myself a full Lagosian. Let me say that this is the best project that has ever been done, starting from Lagos, apart from the Third Mainland Bridge. This project is a great project, and it's going to benefit all those that produce the goods that lays the golden egg for Nigeria. Look at it, for instance. This is a mighty project, like we have said, and it's going to be one of the biggest projects ever in the country. And it is reasonable and it's well deserved. For instance, Lagos State produces the highest amount of money for VAT. And if you talk about taxation, money that goes to the Federation account, Lagos State produces that. Then this road is passing through Ogun State. It goes to Ondo State, which is an oil-producing area. It goes to Edo State, which is an oil-producing area. Delta State, a very major oil producing area. Bayelsa State, major oil producing area. Rivers, major. The same thing with Akwa Ibom, and then it runs to Calabar. So this project is one project that the president wants to use to thank the oil producing areas for what they are doing for the country. I think Nigerians, and especially everybody from Niger Delta, everybody from the oil producing area, they need to thank Mr. President. We need to thank President Tinubu for bringing this project up. We had our own, who is President Jonathan. He couldn't do it. Even Obasanjo's time, we talked about this project. Even Buhari's time, this project was awarded for by 11 trillion, although it was not as expensive billion dollars. It was not as expensive as this one. But yet, they did not even start off. But right now, over 1 kilometer have been done. Safili have started. It shows that the president is serious about this project. And I can tell you that everybody in Niger Delta will be quite happy with the president, because this project will reduce the traveling time of Lagos to Warri, for instance, by over 2 hours. And the same thing, traveling to Port Harcourt by several hours. So this project is going to save money, it will save costs, it's also going to bring more investment, it's going to open up the Niger Delta area. And for those who are contributing the highest amount of money to this country and also suffering a lot of inconveniences you know, as a result of the oil production. This is a project that is dear to their heart, and is a project that I can tell you that Nigerians should support. Anybody who is not supporting this project, I think is doing it for a selfish reason. You know, because
okay, well,
if any other part of Nigeria, yes.
Honorable,
yeah.
let's tarry a while on that point. When you say whoever is not supporting this, it might be for a selfish reason. As you know, there are those who will be greatly affected by this. They stand to lose some investments. They allege that if you look at the original plan for this highway, it didn't, take on as much potential damage to existing investors. One of which is saying that, look, it's been in that area from 2017. And so they are saying that, yes, as this is benefiting everybody else, as this is benefiting, quite frankly, the nation, is there not a way for the federal government to look into adjusting it to mitigate that damage? So they are saying that it's possible to arrive at what has been referred to as a win-win situation. And it needs to be said that the federal government has set up what it calls a compensation committee to look into those who will be so affected. But what do you think of the plea of those who are going to be affected by this laudable project that we're talking about?
Yeah, I think the plea of those who will be affected economically, whose properties, they will lose a lot of properties, they will also lose a lot of investment because of this project. If they make a plea, it's not a bad idea, and I think government can look at it. The good thing about it is that government have said they are going to provide compensation. You know, whether the compensation will be adequate is another issue. But the minister have said that the president is willing to concede to those who will suffer serious economic hardship because of it, is willing to ensure that they are provided with compensation. So what I think that such group need to do is to continue to dialogue with the Minister for Works and with the committee that is talking about compensation. You know, when they do that, of course, they will, whatever they are losing, at least they will get some amelioration. If there are areas where they can meander the road, you know, so as not to affect some communities and some investments, serious investments in a good manner, of course. And if it would not affect the concept of the road, there's nothing wrong in that. But this project must not be stopped because the oil producing area are now aware that Tinubu is willing to compensate them and to open up their area for the sacrifice they are making for the country. So whatever complaints there are, this project have to go on. But of course, government must listen to the complaints of Nigerians, those who will be affected, to see what they can do to make to reduce the suffering they will suffer as a result of this project. But this project, like I said, is one project that the whole nation needs to applaud Mr. President for doing. I've said it somewhere else that this president is a bold president. He's not afraid to take on very bold issues. This is one of it. And we want to encourage him. We don't want him to be discouraged, you know, because when he does it, all people from Niger Delta will be quite happy. And they are the people sacrificing. You can imagine what they have been suffering as a result of oil production. No single project. The federal government have not done any single important project for the Niger Delta people in as much as 40 or 50 years. It's part of the sacrifice they are making. So for Tinubu to think about it and to bring this project must be carried to its logical conclusion. Indeed.
Well, as you say, you said it, but there are people, you know, people feel very, very sensitively about their communities. The Etiosa local government apparently will take a big hit on this. You know, these are traditional settlements, so it brings up the matter of, look, they're going to have to find a way to resettle people if this project is indeed going to go. And by all indications, it's not a matter of if, it actually has started. Well, let me bring up something else for your consideration. The time span, the time span for this, I think it's supposed to span something around the next 8 years or so, of which the Tinubu administration, has used 1 year already, being positively minded, assuming that when elections come around, the ruling party wins again. So if in the best case scenario, that's 8 years. There are those who are concerned that given the pace of construction in Nigeria and even elements like the unknown, how can we be sure that work can be done and be brought to a successful conclusion within 8 years? They cite, for example, the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Lord knows how long that has taken, even though it was supposed to be a quick in and out kind of an affair. What do you think about that other unknown aspect? It's one thing to project it to be to take as long as around 8 years, but nobody knows what's going to come up.
Yeah, I agree with you. There are sometimes man proposes, they say God disposes. There are vagaries of issue, finance, and others that can delay projects. But the most important thing in a project of this magnitude is the willpower. And the president has demonstrated it. As we speak to you, over 1 kilometer of the road has been done. We have seen it on television. And we've seen some filling going on very seriously.
And we have 700. So it's a 700. It's a 700.
We have 700. Yeah, we know. We have 700. The only appeal I will make to Mr. President and to Minister of Work is to say, let the whole work not start from only Lagos. A part of it can start off in Delta. Other parts can start from Kwai Bob going to Calabar, so that the project starts from 3 different areas. That way, the Nigerian data people will know that that we are genuine. Otherwise, they will say, "Oh, the president just wants to handle the aspect of Lagos and leave their areas abandoned." But I'm sure that high tech, with what they did in Babish, and the road they did from Apapa down to Ushodi Expressway, we know they can start the project, put it in 3 different areas, so that the Nigerian data people can feel that, oh, this road is a reality. And once they do that, I'm very sure they will complete it with that 8 years period.
It's a landmark, no pun intended, project. It's a real epoch-making event. There are critics of it who have said that, President Tinubu, he's interested in, doing something, on a very wide, on a very large scale, a large splash within his first year in office. That is said by way of criticism, not encouragement, sort of suggesting that, and along the lines that you were speaking about just a few seconds earlier, why is it the Lagos-Calabar road? So the criticism continues. Why is it not the Calabar-Lagos? Why is it not the Calabar-Lagos road? Why is it not the Calabar-Lagos road?
Well, I appreciate that, but it has to start from somewhere. The important thing is that this project that was conceived over 20 years ago, nobody had dared to start it. The project has started. But like I said again, I'm sure that the Minister for Works and the President will be listening. Let it also start from the other part, from other areas in Niger Delta. It could be done, different sections, until we're able to marry them together. But for those who say, oh, the President wants to be able to deliver a major project, I said there's nothing wrong with that. That's the aim of governance. If the President wants to deliver a major project, and he chooses this very, very important project, a road that affects the people who contribute the highest amount of money through oil resources, who contribute over 80% of the nation's foreign exchange, who have been suffering the brunt of financing the country. For the president to choose that road, it shows that the president is a man who is interested in the people's affairs, who is interested in compensating those who the goose that lays the golden egg. I'm sure that if the Niger Delta, who produces oil, was somewhere maybe in Northwest, I can tell you the country would not be able to benefit. They will say they will take in their own money. But the Niger Delta people have been patient with the government and they have been persevering. Now that Mr. President has said, let me do this project, I don't think we need to criticize it. We need to encourage the president to finish this project. Because if he finish this project, look, it will make movement very easy. It will open up the area to tourism. It will open up to economic development. And then restiveness in the area will be less. And the people of Niger Delta will say, okay, if the president can recognize our contribution towards Nigeria's development, we don't need to continue to agitate. Let us, be patient, more will come. So it's a landmark project. No matter what you say about it, this project is one good project. Even if they say, it costs so much money. So what? The people produce the money and the people are using the road to do their thing. And this project is one in a lifetime. And the minister has said this project will last for over 50 to 100 years. And I believe the minister for works, because he's an experienced man, he did it before in the state, and since he came in, he's a structural engineer, so he knows what he's talking about. So if this project, as they're doing it, they do it and it lasts a long time, I can tell you that it will make the nation more peaceful, and everybody will know that the government of Nigeria appreciates those who are contributing towards the development of the nation.
You just spoke about money there. It's an ultra-modern project. And that is going to be an expensive project.
No doubt.
It's running in trillions. Now, there are a number of people in commenting on this whole situation who thought that the bidding process was not really known. When did that happen? How did it happen? You no doubt have heard about that as well. The minister, when he was, doing his press conference, sort of sidestepped that and said, look, let him concentrate on his own core function. But what do you think about those who are bringing that, into the conversation, that it doesn't matter who has got it, High-Tech has got it. It well might be the most qualified for the job, but some are saying that by law, people need to be given chances to, counter bid. And at the end of the day, it might well be the person who got it now will get it then, but then we would have been seen to have fulfilled the law. Now, if the law has been complied with, there are those who are saying that they missed it.
Yes, that aspect is here. I've heard Umar say that it was planned for a PPP project before, but now it's going to be contract and run, and that the federal government will contribute some part. The contractor will also still contribute some part to it. The details is all quite clear, but there's need for transparency in everything that is being done. But talking about the cost, I've heard some people say, the total cost of the project, about 15 trillion naira, is almost like the total budget of all the states put together in a year. And then I say, so what? All those states put together their budget in the year is being funded by the Niger Delta oil that's coming from the Niger Delta. And even saying that, it is not true, because the project will be for 8 years. If you look at it, it's going to be like, for that 8 years, you find out that it's not going to be more than 2 trillion, 1.30 trillion per annum, during the period of the project. So when you look at the importance of the project, the area that is going to, and the cost is not too much, because if you also look at other projects in the country, look at the railway that is going to Niger Republic. Whereas we don't have enough railway here. People did not bother to criticize that project. That project costs trillions also. Today, Nigeria is still borrowing money to do a project that is going to Niger Republic. Now, this one is in Nigeria and in the oil-producing area that are making sacrifice for the country. How can you say spending about less than 2 trillion for them every year for the next 8 years is too much? No.
All right.
But on issues of transparency on the award of the contract, I think the minister can make it more plain and explain it better to the people. But what I'm saying is that no matter what people are criticizing, this is a worthy project. And the contractor have shown that is capable of doing it.
Let me bring in our first caller, Honorable. Dr. Akeredolu has called in from Lekki. Good morning to you, Doctor.
Yeah, good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for calling in.
I want to tell your guest that he has not gotten the information properly. The information the minister, the information the minister gave was
well,
I don't know. Can it be done so that we can hear him? And neither our guest nor myself can hear.
The line is breaking. The line is breaking. You said the information the minister gave was.
Yes, that's all.
Let me hear the balance of your question.
Yeah. Yes, of his point.
Okay. What I'm saying is this: the information given by the minister specifies that the contract has been awarded in sections, but starting from Lagos, and the sections are specified, and they are working together at the same time. That's what I'm trying to correct. Give that information to the guests there, and let Uncle Yori know what is happening.
Okay. So what you're saying again, Doctor?
Thank you. No. I've heard what he said, that the contract is awarded in sections. So, so that even makes it easier, for the contractor to also start working from those sections. Working from the section of Delta to Yeregua, to DC, working from the section of Kwai Bom to Cross River, and you do part of it. If the contractor can also mobilize the area so that the work goes on simultaneously, it will bring more confidence to the project, and it will bring more happiness to the Niger Delta people. And don't forget that if this road is done, it's going to affect the whole country. It's going to be easier to move petroleum products from the Niger Delta up north. For instance, you have the Warri refinery is being worked on right now, will be open soon. The refinery in Port Harcourt also is being worked upon. Of course, the Dangote refinery have started. All this, we can use those roads. We can connect other roads to move these products out. And the railway that is planned in the middle of it, once that happens, of course, this infrastructure is going to provide multiply effect economically for the nation. It's not really the Niger Delta area that will benefit from it. Although the Niger Delta deserves this project. If the biggest project in this country is done in the Niger Delta, nobody can criticize it, because it's the Niger Delta that provides the majority of the money that's running the entire country. So the president have taught it very well with the Minister for Work by citing this project, the biggest project in Tinubu's first tenure in the Niger Delta area.
Well, and indeed, and as is well known, this is going to really boost tourism.
Yes.
The nature of the project.
Boost tourism, economic activities, etc., etc.
There's going to be a train running between the roads we hear. Everybody knows that this is a laudable project. The only concern is the matter of what it will affect, and the impact of that. As I said, the government has already set up what is called a compensation committee, and it's been said that the compensation rates of the federal government are much higher, for instance, than that of Lagos State, and that is what will be used. Malik in Ilorin has called in. Good morning to you, sir. Mr. Malik in Ilorin.
Yes, good morning, Uncle Yori. I want to comment on the statement made by your guest.
Go ahead, please.
Okay, the issue of your last caller has corrected one other notion. You see, when a contract is issued and the contract does not say that the contractor can mobilize on different segments of the project, that brings it another cost. So my take is that if the contractor does not have it as part of his contract, that he should mobilize on different segments. That is an additional cost to the cost of the project. I just want to make that point clear. But your last caller said that there are segments. The whole project is segmented. If the same contractor is the one that is going to be handling those segments, or different contractor, is a different ballgame. But if it's the same contractor, mobilization cost is another issue for the man to be on several spots of the project going forward. That's my comment.
Indeed. Well, thank you very much.
Malik, yes. I appreciate your concern. But for a contract of this magnitude, several kilometers, it will not be fair to just start it from one end of the road. You know, there's need for the people of the Niger Delta to have a feel of the contract. Because for you to wait for 8 years before you get, or 6, 7 years before you get to your area, you know, it is in the interest of the president for this project to also start in some other part of Niger Delta, so that the people of Niger Delta will know that the president loves them, so that they can appreciate what President Tinubu is doing for them. If they just do it only in Lagos, they'll say, oh, it's because the president is from Lagos. After he finishes here, other area, the job will be abandoned. But I know it will not be abandoned. I know that cost of mobilization may be there, but this can be built in, and we have an experienced Minister for Works. I'm sure that he can find a way around this so that the job is done simultaneously from one or two other parts of the Niger Delta. You know, that's what I think about that.
Yeah, okay. And when on completion, one of the good thing about it is that it's going to reduce the travel time between Lagos and Calabar, for instance, by up to 2.5 hours. This was a contribution that was...
Seriously. Let me even come to one issue. Some people say, oh, they are going to toll the gate. If they toll the gate, the money will be too much. And I say, let's forget about the issue of tolling for now. But if you are going to, your time is going to be reduced by 2 to 3 hours on the road. If you are driving, you know that by barricading this road, you will save over 40 to 50,000 naira on petrol. So if you have to pay 3,000 naira as for toll, when you know you are saving so much, it's not going to be too much of a problem. What I'm saying is that let's not look too much at the negative parts of this road. Let the road be done. And then Nigerians can sit down. If the presidency sees that, the cost of towing is too much, they can reduce it. If they see that, the towing is not high enough, they can increase it. But the important thing is that we know that this project, as the minister said, is going to be kind of self-financing. And it's a thing that we look at the positive aspect of it, because a project of this magnitude, if you look at the negative part of it, you may never start, because different people will come with different interests, you know. But it's good enough that the indigenous people along the road have expressed their fear, and discussions can go ahead to meet them halfway, you know, about their fears, so that they also will be happy that this project is passing through their place. But this project has to be done. And
indeed,
we thank Mr. President for initiating this project, yes.
And still, and talking about the positives, this isn't even factoring all the economic advantages, movements of goods and all of that. As I said earlier, it's supposed
reduction
to
in cost, reduction of movement time, reduction of fuel, even reduction of cost for people who are traveling. Before, if you travel through the longer road, you pay more. Now you are going through this shorter one, you pay less. And, you know, and the road, too, because it's dual concrete, the economic advantage, vehicles passing it will not be damaged. Other roads where you have pothole, you run into it, your tire bursts, and that kind of thing. This is a modern road. And we must commend the minister, you know, for the design of this new road.
Okay, we're going to have to leave it there, Honorable Ogene Emma Ego. A look at the Lagos-Calabar Highway, because there has been a lot of talk about it. We are following the talk, but as you have said, and most people know, there is no questioning the economic value of it, but it's just that people are saying that there are other aspects that needs to be resolved. One person has used that expression, a win-win situation, in a different context. But we just thought we'd talk about it, and we thank you for coming along to share your thoughts with us. Okay, then. Thank you very much, Honorable Ego. Okay, we'll take a break now.